Hi, my name is Eugene, and I spent an amazing semester in Poland. My exchange was defined by the people I met, the friends I made, and the memories I had. I got to do activities like skydiving in Prague, soaking in sub-zero waters in Iceland, and even dancing with the locals in Slovenia. I got to discover mountainous peaks, magnificent waterfalls, and breathtaking valleys. I also got to eat lots of delicacies: squid ink pasta, cheesy baked potatoes, seafood delights, and ice cream, and more ice cream, which gave me a few more happy pounds. My exchange was definitely one of the most enriching periods of my life. Of course, not everything is perfect, and I did face some challenges myself as well. But with proper planning, I'm sure you'll be able to craft out your own unique SEP experience. There's just so much to do and to enjoy. With this, I wish you the very best for your SEP journey.
The Student Exchange Program, or SEP, offers you a chance for a life-changing study experience abroad. Woohoo! Excited yet? But wait! Hold your horses! There's some important things you have to do before you go. Don't know what you need to do next? Don't worry. We got you covered. First off, while waiting for your acceptance package from your host university, find out more about your host destination so that you can plan an itinerary and figure out your budget. Make sure you read the pre-departure guide and attend the country-specific briefing sessions for more information. Your acceptance package would also come with instructions on the things to do and deadlines to meet. With that, your preparations would be almost complete. You can then go ahead to apply for your visa, book your accommodation, and make your travel arrangements. But hold it, we're not done yet. There are more points to note before you can depart for your SEP. You will need to submit your study plan for approval before leaving for your exchange. However, do take note that some modules could be cancelled or have limited capacity. So prepare some spare modules and seek approval for any new modules you have enrolled. Check that your passport is valid for at least 6 months after your return date. If it's less than 6 months, you will need to apply for a new passport. This will usually take about 3 to 4 weeks. Don't leave it to the last minute. It's always safer to allow for more time in case there are delays. You will also need to check with your host university which visa you need. Remember to include a copy of your host university's acceptance letter with the application. You may also need to go for a health check to obtain the visa. Visit the embassy website for application details and the required documents. To enrich your SEP journey, you may have plans to travel around to nearby countries while you are there. If so, remember to check if visa is required for those countries you plan to visit. Apply early and don't wait till the last minute. It could take a number of weeks and processing time will vary between the different applications. Book your flight only after receiving your host university acceptance letter and your visa. Finalizing travel arrangements before this could be risky, as you are unable to travel without obtaining the necessary visa. For some destinations, you may be required to get vaccinated. Seek professional advice on the necessary vaccinations for your destination. Bring adequate supply of personal medications. While you already have the NUS student travel insurance, take note that some destinations may require you to purchase a mandatory insurance plan. Do purchase additional health and travel insurance as required. If you encounter any accident or loss of items, make a report as soon as possible. Check with your host university for accommodation options. You can choose to stay on campus or off-campus options like private apartment, student hostel, or homestay. There may be additional charges beside the room rate, so be sure to find out the full costs. If you choose to stay in a private accommodation, arrive earlier to look at the room condition, the surrounding environment, as well as safety considerations before making any commitment. And if you're checking in after office hours, do make prior arrangements to collect your key. Plan your budget carefully for the trip. Check with your host university regarding the cost of living. Bring enough cash to last you for at least 1 month. Find out if you could use telegraphic transfers, traveler's checks, debit or credit cards, or other forms of payment. Check the weather of your host country to decide what you should pack. Check the luggage allowance when booking your flight. Pack lightly and appropriately. Make copies of important documents such as your passport and visa, credit cards, insurance policies, payment receipts, your acceptance letter, and be sure to leave a copy with a contactable family member, just in case. Singaporeans and permanent residents should register with Singapore MFA. If you are an NS man, you will also need to notify MINDEF about your trip. International students may inform their country's diplomatic missions about their trip. Now that you're ready for your SEP, here are some things to take note of once you get there. Upon arrival, contact your family and friends. Give them your contact details as soon as you know them and update your details at the NUS Student Information System. Check your student email regularly, as it is how we will contact you. It is important to keep in touch with NUS. Take a walk around your new surroundings and familiarize yourself with the locations of important places as well as amenities. Be sure to find out the local emergency numbers. Also obey the laws of both home and host countries. Settle your module enrollment and all administrative matters with your host university. You may need to register for exams at the host university. Take note and mark on your calendar the exam dates and organize your study with NUS for the next semester.
During my exchange at the University of Colorado at Boulder in the United States, I had the opportunity to take challenging courses not offered at NUS and gain valuable hands-on experience in my field of study. This included a geology field studies module where we walked across glacial landforms and even touched dinosaur fossils on site. There was never a dull moment in class, with lots of live demonstrations and interactions with my fellow classmates who came from all over the US. We had many open discussion sessions, exposing me to a diverse range of opinions which enhanced my learning experience immensely. Overall, I had a wonderful and enriching academic experience on SEP. With proper planning and a right frame of mind, I'm sure you will as well.
In all that you do, safety should be at the top of your list. When you arrive at your accommodation, check for fire escape routes or exits, working smoke detectors and fire extinguishers. If you suspect there is a fire outside the room, do not open the door. Remember not to use the elevator in the event of any suspected or actual fire. If you choose to drive around, purchase the appropriate insurance. Find out the local traffic rules and regulations before heading out. Drinking may be a common social activity when you are abroad, but do not be pressured into anything. Always know your limit. Don't wander around alone at night. Beware of pickpockets and scams. If you unfortunately encounter a robber, give up your valuables and do not resist. When you are faced with an unsafe or threatening situation on the street, get away as quickly as possible. Find a crowded area or go to the nearest police station. If, however, you are unable to get away, find a safe hiding place. Call the local police and local contacts for help. If all fails, call NUS Campus Security Hotline at +65 6874 1616. Possession and consumption of illegal drugs outside of Singapore is still an offense. If arrested, the same penalties as if offense is committed in Singapore will apply. It is common to experience feelings of distress, confusion, as well as anxiety in a new environment. This is often temporary, and you will start to enjoy the experience once you embrace the changes. But know that you are not the first to feel this way. Just hear what one of your seniors has to say about her experience abroad.
In my first 2 weeks in Zurich, it was so exciting for me to be in a new place. But when I finally settled in, I started feeling worried and homesick, especially when classes started due to the new academic environment. But I overcame this by speaking to professors, spending time with my housemates, and Skyping my family back home. I really enjoyed my exchange when I got more familiar with the new environment and made new friends.
Recognize the differences in culture, people, and social customs. Go out and meet people and get involved in social activities. When you are confronted with situations that make you uncomfortable, examine your expectations. Try to be flexible and adapt to your new circumstances. Ask questions if you don't understand something. Talk to someone if you encounter difficulties. If you continue to have problems adjusting, seek help from the student advisor or counselor at your host university. And while you can plan and prepare for your SEP, the world we live in is ever-changing, so stay current with the media coverage of local events and be aware of your surroundings at all times. Exercise caution around large gatherings and avoid locations known for demonstrations or disturbances. Take all the necessary precautions to ensure your personal safety and remain vigilant and alert to local security developments. And there you have it, all set to go. To ensure you are well prepared and ready to maximize your exchange experience, do read the pre-departure guide, check out the packing list, and research on your host university and destination. All the best for your exchange.